Well, hello, a long time. For the YouTube, I just wanted to come back and say hello and peace and blessings and all those good things. I've been a busy lad, but sometimes things are like that. Sometimes we need a little, breaks of things and in between. It's just how it goes, but everything's pretty groovy on my end. Hope everything's good for everyone else, especially those that have been in contact with me and whatnot. Much love to all of you. So I guess I just wanted to say hi. I'm not even sure exactly what topic, other than to say, life in general on this planet is certainly interesting, and everybody is experiencing ups and downs and trying to, follow the whims of their desires and different things, and follow the path that we're on, the karmic path we're on, the necessary duties that we've undertaken, decided to. And really it comes down to deciding to have done so. And I just want to express the greatest comfort of, for all the fret and the worries that we do have, we did indeed choose to come here. It seems like a lot of sources would tell us, oh, we're just an accident, or, which is, I'm not even going to justify arguing against that, it's quite preposterous, but the idea of not having much of a memory with our original divine source, up until the time of maybe in more of a recent new agey thing, people are discovering, oh, maybe there's more to a simple book I was reading or something like that, or maybe the religious book, is coded and has more depth than I thought. So by saying that, I just mean when we understand we are by default already immortal, eternal soul entities, going back to a great, if you want to call it the great universe, the great God, whatever we like, and to really truly know this, and then to say, well, where I am right now, it certainly is temporary, right? You'd have to be quite insane to think that your life's eternal as it is. So we all know we're on the mortal ticking clock, but to understand that it's not just some tragic accident, or say, I don't know. Like, the more we want to know, the more we understand, the more we can come to find the answers that we're seeking, and to do it with a sincere, open heart, and not with so much worry or so much doubt. Just, well, maybe there is going to be that, and you know what? Maybe if there is that, it's okay too. But understanding that the deep comfort of things, a lot of the time when we worry about something, it is the ego factor, the part that's attaching itself to the temporary. That part, that ego self part, there's a body part, the totality of the incarnation wants to think certain things. And in its ignorance, in its amnesia, the ego self wants to say, oh, well, all I see is here, and what about, how do I know for sure and for certain? But to spend time with just yourself in a level of being, and just to come to grips and to reconnect with what already is there innately, that's the greatest thing we can do for ourselves. I've said this in other videos, and there's been thousands of videos and books out there, and it's secret ancient knowledge isn't even a secret. From the ancient times all the way up till now, pretty much be saying the same thing. We are the immortal. We are in essence one with the immortal, with the never-ending cosmos, the isness, and just a little separate spark for such a time. And to understand that ultimately, in the highest sense, all of us are always safe and sound, and will return to what we want. But we go on these long trips away from that just to have experiences, to come out, to grow, to experience, and then to return. But really, we did choose it, as I was saying, and we are comforted in knowing just how safe we are. And just spending a little bit of time, that's why people can recommend meditation, because meditation, when you're closing your eyes, you're shutting out the external world. You're kind of shedding off that temporary ego self, like, I'm only going to be a fool called Lee for such an amount of time, such and such amount of decades, and I'm gone. And however old you are, such amount of time, and you'll leave your body. So it's recommended to just kind of detach from the temporary, but it's not to totally disown and hate the temporary either. The highest teachings of Buddhism or higher mysticism is about, well, don't despise what is. You can have your cake and eat it too in some cases. You don't have to be totally detached and disliking everything. So that's a fine line that's difficult to maybe catch, to discover, I don't know, use a word if you like a better one, but to rediscover that, oh, okay, I can enjoy the temporary to such a degree. If I'm undergoing stressful conditions or unfavorable conditions or a position in life, and a lot of us are, and we go in and out of them, then to say, well, ultimately I am safe, and my real highest self is aloof from all of this. I don't think anybody is really truly scared of death. What we fear, maybe it's the dying part leading up to it, or oh gosh, maybe the embarrassment of it, or maybe the harsh reality of it, that here we go. But we all kind of know, if we were all desperately afraid of death, we'd all be fighting, each and every one of us would be fighting on, tooth and nail to find eternal youth and, stay alive. But because in the back of our mind, even for those people who don't study anything like this, in the back of the mind, in the deeper heart, we have a knowing, an innate knowing, everything is going to be okay. So just to kind of align with that, and by doing so, we gain the greatest freedom, and just even that suspended moment to kind of sit and say, well, now that I know this, should I do or not to do, or hence the term to be or not to be? That's the question. Yeah, sure. I like to quote that one, actually. It's a good one. But yeah, just ask ourselves, shall I indulge on a certain thing, or shall I choose not to? And not to despise either way, and to understand the outcomes that we're in. We chose it, and somehow it's just meant to be. And I do firmly attest and believe, most certainly with the greatest conviction, that when we die, then we look back and go, ah, yes, that's why. It had to be so. Somehow it had to be so. And also it propels us for a better future experience. So the greatest things we can do is being kind to ourselves and being kind to others. Because by doing those things, it propels us into getting out of, because we kind of like choose where we want to go, right? And people that end up in hellish conditions because they put themselves in there by thinking and by attaching to staying close to hatred and old grudges and self-despising and all these kind of things. But to be kind to the self, to relieve yourself, to stop hating yourself, to stop rejecting parts of yourself, to embrace as is, and then to move forward with wanting to be a better version of yourself. And then by doing that, alleviating all the fears, the doubts, the worries, and then automatically by default, when we're kind to ourselves, it's so easy to be kind to others. Sometimes it's easier to be kind to others than it seems to be kind to ourselves. Sometimes I can be guilty of that as well. It's a funny thing, isn't it? But to kind of have that concept of, sink or swim as a team, and obviously swimming as a team is better than sinking. The whole earth is teaching us this right now. Well, guess what, guys? The whole lesson here is you're all living in a common world. Do you want to be part of its downfall or part of its rising? To even those like mega rich elitist types, is there a triumph going to be in sinking a planet from greed and stupidity? Think about that. Ooh, imagine that. Good one. After you die, pat on the back. Well, I don't know about you, but I sunk a planet. Like, really? Yeah. So let's not do that. And swimming as a team and realizing the unity of everything. And those who want to have separation and want to, keep living out the difficult conditions and the different positions, the ego self, the competition, the hatred, as long as someone keeps doing that, then they're subject to receiving that, because karma is a natural default process and an immovable thing, because you're doing that and you're returning to that. You yourself are choosing to go into that. So when we're giving ourselves the love and the freedom, then it's so easy to do with others. But yes, ultimately, when we retreat from all the attachments and thoughts and motions and modes and stations in life, and just take a suspended step back out into pure being, as they say, then everything is fine. And to remember that and to get back to that level. So those who want to achieve that level can take any means to do so. There's no right or wrong path, as long as it feels right for yourself and it's giving you joy and progress. If something's making you happy and freeing you from hatred and sadness and fear, and it's not harming somebody else, then all the green light to you, right? That's just basically how it goes. So I'm trying to keep the video short, but I just want to say that again. I haven't done a YouTube video in a little bit, but just kind of felt inclined to do so. Everything's fine for me, just life decisions and all sorts of things, but it's okay. Everything comes in destined time, I guess. We choose all this before we incarnate, so there's those things to consider. But yeah, everything is really, when that's the first part of enlightenment, is just say, ping, I am really, my highest self is so safe from all this, it's aloof from all this. It's kind of like living my own dream, and saying that to yourself. I'm living a dream that I'm having, and it's temporary, but I can enjoy it or not. And as long as I'm not harming, I'm not stuck into anything, and everything is going to be all right. Ultimately, by default. Even if we worry about a place and a planet and all that, but it's still, we're going to die. The body is going to die. We're not going to stay here like that, unless those keep wanting to choose coming back in. So I don't know. I just want to remind people of that message. Everything is fine. Everything is ultimately, in the highest sense, really, it is okay. It really, really is okay. And one day it will make sense. Everything will make sense perfectly. There are no questions that don't have an answer. There really aren't. And for us to remember that. Let's remember that is important, I think. Alright, my deepest love and friendship to everybody, and I hope you the best. I truly wish and hope for the very best for you. And to have those moments, those epiphany moments of, oh, everything's okay. The heart can be calm, the mind can be still. Just have an aha moment, you know. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm recommending, just to find that. Remember your higher self, and your pure being and your true self. And from that position, view the world. And then when you come back to your body and your duties and your day-to-day, say, well, at least I've achieved that. So when I die, I can think about going back to that. And not want to stay in the mud, kind of thing. So that's what I want to say. Deepest, richest blessings and friendship to everybody. I truly mean it. Wishing you the very, very best for yourself. And we'll catch you soon. Take care, my friends.